My name is Garrett Sims. We're back with another exciting episode of Sports Timeout. This week, we get to sit down with head coach of the OHS softball team, Coach Gutierrez. I can't thank her enough for coming in and spending her time answering some questions. So thank you to her. And they had a fantastic season this year. They won districts, upsetting Oak Grove in the final game, going on to play against Chillicothe. Unfortunately, they did fall a little short, but Chillicothe was the team that went on to win state. So what a great season for these girls, and I'm just excited to get into this interview with Coach Gutierrez. With all that being said, let's start the episode right now. My name is Garrett Sims. We have a very special guest. We have Coach G of the OHS softball Bulldogs. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited.
I wanted to kind of get to know you a little bit, and so I want to ask you, where did coaching start for you, and how did your passion kind of develop for it?
Well, I have played sports my whole life. Softball mainly was like a huge thing for me, like ever since I was, 4. Like, as soon as you could play, my dad put me in. And I think I just knew I had surgeries for injuries and I'm getting older and I'm kind of, slowing down athletically. But I knew I wanted to get back to the sport. So it was always kind of the goal to be a coach. I think for as long as I can remember, I always wanted to go into it. But then, coaching started here, luckily, and I'm still here. I love it here, and I hope to continue coaching here.
And you said give back, so was there a coach maybe or mentor that you had that made a lot of impact in your playing career?
So my dad was actually my softball coach for a very, very long time, and he was great, a very, very good coach. And then after that, honestly, my high school basketball coach, Randy Draper, Grain Valley, he was amazing, taught me a lot about coaching and how to deal with kids. He was an older man with a bunch of teenage girls and always cracks me up, but he just earned respect from everybody. And he's still he just made a huge name for himself. He has a legacy in Grain Valley right now, and I just think that's really cool. So I thought, it'd be really cool to be able to learn from him and kind of take what he taught me and hopefully give what he gave me to other people.
Was there any pieces of advice that were your favorite from him?
So honestly, I'm not really sure about advice in general. I can tell you that he held very, very high standards, and I thought that made me just better as an athlete in person, because I don't think a lot of coaches do that for everyone. Mm-hmm. He was very good at holding the same standards for his whole team. There was no favorites. There was no the best player is going to have the highest standards. He was, if you're going to play on my team, you're going to follow these standards. This is our program. We're going to be proud of it. So I think that was the biggest thing that I carried from him. If you're going to be somewhere, be proud of it. Teach others how to be proud of it. So I think that's probably.
And you talked about you got your start at Odessa, so I'm guessing this is your first coaching job. Mm-hmm. And so can you kind of tell me how that kind of came about, how you ended up here? Especially being from Grain Valley.
I know. Yeah, actually. It was so weird because I wanted to be a high school teacher so I could coach. And I could not find any high school jobs to apply for. I applied for a whole bunch of middle school, elementary, while I was student teaching, and I went and interviewed at a couple places, put in applications. Nothing was really hitting, and then this is really embarrassing to say, I'm really sorry everybody, but I did go and apply and interview for Oak Grove. And they actually had called me after and was like, hey, we think you'd be a very good fit for Odessa. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know they're hiring. And I was kind of stuck. I didn't know if I wanted to go to Odessa. And now that I am here, I cannot imagine doing anything else. This was genuinely put into my life. I believe that this was the path I was supposed to go down to. I love it here, and I want to stay for as long as I can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And to kind of ask you a little bit about kind of meeting Odessa and getting into the community and the culture, how has that changed for you? Kind of, you mentioned it a little bit, and then what was your impression of meeting the girls for the first time?
Well, okay, so Grain Valley, I graduated in 2016, and at that time and before, we were actually in the same conference and district as Odessa and everything. So we were a smaller school, believe it or not. Now I don't even know what's going on there. But I come to teach at Odessa, and it's another small school vibe, small community, very close, and I love that. I moved from Blue Springs to Grain Valley for high school. Mm-hmm. So the move from that big of a school to a small school, I loved it, and I was so happy my mom moved us there. And then coming to Odessa was like perfectly where I'm comfortable. And the girls, I was nervous. I was really nervous because I was really young when I started. I mean, it was 5 years ago. I was like 23 maybe. I was nervous because I have high standards, but I didn't know how to hold those for girls that were a couple years younger than me, So it was a little weird, but we clicked pretty quick, I'd like to think.
Yeah, and just kind of ask you, like, where has the program gone over the past couple of years, and what have you done to kind of help that out?
Well, I got my assistant coaching job under Randy Florence, actually, and he was great to learn from. Genuinely, like, one of the best people I have ever met. He really, really cared about everything that he did and everybody he was coaching. So he did a really good job of, setting it up for me. And then when he left, he kind of just told me, like, hey, you're ready. Like, get in there, go, like, try to get it. So I just kind of want to carry on, like, what he did was he was planning on doing, just keeping the pride. I feel like that was a big thing for Odessa's, like, softball program and basketball program.
Yeah.
You want kids to leave and be proud that they came from it.
And I kind of ask you, what type of relationship do you build with these players? Because you do play with them over a long season, over 4 years, and I just kind of want to ask you, how do you watch them grow and develop as these players?
Oh gosh, it makes me feel like I don't have any kids, and I want them obviously, but it makes me feel like I have 21 kids, and I absolutely adore every person. Like I get to meet all these kids and kind of just learn how their personalities are, how they are as athletes, their at-home lives, and they teach me as much as I teach them, and truly it has been amazing. Like, I love it. I learn a lot from them, so I'm really proud and blessed that I get to know those girls.
And to kind of get into the season a little bit, you get to look back at it now, but what was just so special for you?
Ooh, I mean, I think obviously I had goals. I wanted to, by the time I was the head coach, we didn't have a conference championship for softball at all, and we had one district championship that came the year before I started. So I wanted to be able to build onto Odessa's softball program in general to earn that conference championship for those girls and to have them on the banner. That's kind of like what my personal goals were, and it built so perfectly into like our senior group this year. They wanted it all. They wanted to go to state. And I was like, you know what, let's do it then. If that's what you guys want to do, then let's work for it. So I think that was just like biggest thing is growing every year, trying to do something more and more and more, which I believe that we have been doing the past couple of years.
Yeah. And to kind of ask you about these seniors, what did their leadership help with? And did it help you with coaching and make it a little bit easier for you what they brought to the table?
I can't even stress enough the leadership qualities that so many of those girls had. I think the last time that I have seen a senior class that big was my freshman year of high school. There was 9 seniors. I come in here, their senior year, my whole, basically the whole field, like we're set, whatever. The leadership qualities, you wouldn't think that high school girls had them like they do. It's really, really impressive. I told them, like, they make my job easy. I don't have to get on to younger girls or teach them how to do things, even when I'm prepared for it. They're already stepping in and helping those girls, like, be able to do what they did and play the way that they would like them to play for their senior year. So, I mean, they really carried themselves, truly.
And I wanted to ask you, was there a motto or message for this season, and how did it kind of reflect in as a whole? Like, did it kind of match the season?
Yes, I believe it did. This group of seniors have been playing together for a really long time, from my understanding, what I've heard from their parents and them. So they really wanted to leave with something, and we had this whole conversation about stuff that we wanted to use for mottos, and they came up with the hashtag all in.
Yeah.
And so that's what we went with. We had little poker chips made so we could be all in for every game. And it was so perfect with the senior group because you could just tell that they wanted to leave everything on the field every time they stepped on. I just think there was not a more perfect motto for a group of girls.
And I kind of want to ask you a little bit more about so the district playoffs. You get to play Oak Grove again, and you get to see them 3 times in a season. I just kind of wanted to ask you: is that weird for you? Is that normal? Is it a good thing to play that? I mean, obviously, when they're that good of a team, and then could you kind of take me through that game as a whole?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it could go either way. I am used to it because, like I said, when I was in high school, we did the same thing. You'd see those conference teams that were in your district 3-4 times, depending on what tournaments you are in the season. Oak Grove is a great team, great program, insane athletes. I mean, their softball team has been great for years. I think that rivalry will be there for, I don't even know, probably forever.
Oh, yeah.
But, it kind of fuels the girls for me. Like, I don't even have to say anything. And it's just really good softball to watch. And it's really cool to get to go and see girls at that age play against each other and so well and performing against these top level athletes like Oak Grove performing against our athletes and our athletes performing against theirs. I, of course, would like to not see them as much, especially, when you're us and we have a little bit lower of a list for pitching. It's a little bit harder when you have to pitch all of your pitchers to them during the season, and then they've seen everybody by districts. So that would be my only thing, but the girls were just so pumped already. It was electric. You could feel it. If you were there, you could feel it. It was a different atmosphere, especially even from last year.
And that's just got to be so awesome because it means so much. And I wanted to kind of say, like, take me through that final out or whatever it was. Like, what was it from the perspective of yourself?
Well, I think that the last couple times that we have played Oak Grove, it is usually we'll get up, we'll be hitting well, but we won't take that next step forward to really put them out to where we can run away with it. We always leave just a little room, and Oak Grove is a great hitting team. They score, and that's what they do. They're going to. And our girls, I tried to put that in their heads all the time, like, hey, they are going to hit. It doesn't matter what you throw. Like, they're going to hit. They're going to score. So we just have to do more.
Yeah.
So, I can't even say the words that were going through my head in the dugout during that last inning. They got the bases loaded. It was nerve-wracking. It really was. And it wasn't because I didn't trust my team. It was because these are very good athletes. It's going to be whoever wants it more now. And I'm so proud. I mean, obviously there was a lot that went through the game that happened that helped us win, but it was also really cool. Like our pitcher worked really hard for that win. So I'm glad that she got to get it at the end.
Yeah. And so I kind of wanted to ask you, was there any like specific games or moments from this season, maybe minus the district, that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty good season. We tried to beef up the season a little bit. Last year we had a really good win to loss, like a record. We had a great record. But I also felt like we were probably playing teams that we could go harder. We could get harder competition. Like, we wanted to be ready for Oak Grove and P Hill and all those people that are so good. We played a lot more Class 5 teams this year. And our first game of the season was against Lee Summit West in that Greater Kansas City tournament. And usually we face, like, Grain Valley last year. I think we played Kearney for the second game. We're facing Class 5 teams the very first few games, and most of the time it's been like oh my gosh, like a real killer because the girls are losing but they're Class 5 teams. But this year we beat Lee Summit West, and that was insane to me. Like, I don't remember the last time that, even when I was playing, that a team that we've beat Lee Summit West. Like, I think the Lee Summit schools are amazing. They have great programs and a great coach. So I thought that game just all around was like very first game of the season when we didn't even know how the lineup was going to finish up, how the pitching was going to look or hitting, and they pulled out that, and it was like, wow, like they're serious about the season, and it was just so cool. I think that was probably like the main game this season. It was like, wow.
That's awesome. And I just want to kind of ask you a little bit more, how would you describe your coaching style, and what's kind of some of the lessons you try to teach your girls? And I know you kind of said you're hard on them, but what are those lessons you want to get to them?
Well, to be fair, I would like to be hard on them. I am a pretty laid-back person in general, and I care so much about these girls, and I think that I'm kind of getting away from as I'm getting older and more experienced that, like, you know, we're not friends. I'm their coach. I love them to pieces. I don't want to hurt any of them ever. But I think that my coaching style is mostly like listening to my players. Really, I trust them. I really do. And the biggest thing about that is they have to earn my trust. And they do. I mean, I've played softball, again, my whole life. So I like to think by now that I kind of know, like, how things should look, how, like, situations should go, what we need in certain situations. So the trust thing, like, I have had girls that have been asking me to trust them throughout the whole season, and I give them that trust, and they show me that I can. Yeah. So I think it's really that, is just communicating with them and being honest. I think they value honesty more than anything. So it's good or bad, at least they're hearing the truth.
Of course. And I just want to ask you a little bit about next season. I know we're a little early because you got basketball to prepare for. But I just want to ask you what gets you excited about next season, and is there any goals you're kind of thinking already?
Oh, gosh. So, I mean, obviously we are losing a ton, but I in no means think that we are going to be a worse team. I think that we had a ton of younger girls come in this year and even the past few years that haven't seen as much varsity time because of the older girls, but they 100% could play at that level. You know, it's just timing and birthdays and all that, and we've had several conversations, but I've had girls that have been waiting and working for 3 years to come in next year and show everybody what they can do. And those are the girls, like, I'm really excited for those girls that have been working so hard for the program, and especially since they haven't been getting the time they want and the time that they probably could get maybe at a different school with less seniors. I'm truly, like, so pumped for that, to see how they do things and kind of working with younger girls and trying to help them be more fluid together. That was the thing about this year's seniors. I didn't have to teach that. I didn't have to work on that. They were already fluid. They've been working together. So I'm just excited. I think that anything could happen, but I think coming off of a high from last season, just getting to go one step farther, that everybody in this program right now is excited to prove that we're still here and we're going to be that good and we're going to try to be better.
Yes, of course. And just last one, I asked you, how cool was it to play on the new turf this year? I know it was pretty cool.
Yes, I love turf.
Is that sarcastic, or was it like a whole learning curve? Because when I started playing, it was totally different for me, but I was used to dirt, so I just wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, see, I love turf, but whenever I was playing, it wasn't as common. I think the only turf field that I got to play on in high school was Excelsior Springs. And we've obviously, like, since I've been here, it's been dirt, and it's been okay. It's not bad. And everywhere we go, we play on dirt fields. It was, like, the field maintenance and all that, it was a lot. And it was mainly our AD, like, Sherry Bagshaw. She really fought for us to get that turf field. And it felt really good to have somebody believe in a sport as small as softball, because it's not big in every town. So it's just really cool that, like, we got to have something as small of a school we are and as small as our program is. Like, it was cool. It was really cool, and I think the girls were super excited. Oh,
I think you guys truly deserve it. And I'd just say thank you so much for your time, but is there anything else, like, you want to say?
Thanks for having me, and I am super excited for basketball now and softball next year, and this was awesome, and I appreciate you taking the time to invite me out here.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much. This has been our guest interview with Coach G. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Sports Time Out. It means a lot to me, and I can't thank Coach Gutierrez enough for her time and coming in here and just answering my questions. So make sure you're picking up your copy of the Odessan to get all the other sports information we're not mentioning on the podcast, as well as all the other news and local government stuff. We can't thank you enough for listening, and we'll see you next time as always.